All right, guys, so today we have some huge news to talk about coming out of the North American scene. As you can see here from Sheep Esports, they tweeted this out just a couple of minutes ago. Sources, jungler Yuji, a name who we kind of heard a lot this past offseason and leading up into the 2025 season for good and bad reasons. Not necessarily bad reasons, but unfortunate circumstances outside of his control. But jungler Yuji has reached an agreement to join Team Liquid as part of their 6-man roster in the LTA North, which that would mean this is going to be the second 6-man roster we see in the LTA North, actually, which is a little bit surprising. Not something we commonly see in the competitive League of Legends scene. and Yuji will be the two junglers of the organization. This report comes from LCS Eevee, so let's dive into this and see what the heck is going on, how we got here, any kind of information he has for us. So the best player in Tier 2 has found a banner to play under. According to sources close to Sheep Esports, Yuji is set to join Team Liquid in the LTA as part of their 6-man roster. He will be sharing the jungle position with Yuji is the reigning NACL champion and the back-to-back NACL MVP, the only player to ever win MVP honors 2 splits in a row. The last 3 NACL MVPs to enter the LCS all reached top 8 at Worlds, those being Dokla, Busio, and Masu. Despite his dominance at the Tier 2 level, uncertainty about Yuji's residency and unfortunate timing denied him the opportunity to find a position in the LTAN, the LEC, or a top ERL in the offseason. In the eyes of analysts, his debut has been a foregone conclusion for over a year. Expectations for him are very high, and the pressure to perform, especially on an organization with Team Liquid's pedigree, is near unparalleled. So after a weak performance during the LTA regular season, the community, expecting the 4th seed team to fall quickly in Sao Paulo, began calling for TL to make roster changes. was at the forefront of the criticism, already seen as a weak point for the team in 2024. I know there were some people who were saying, yeah, they should have already made a change coming into 2025. As TL kicked into gear for the cross-conference stage, the calls to make midseason changes ebbed. They'd qualify for the inaugural first stand in dominant fashion and prove themselves the best team in North America. After the tournament began, however, things went south quickly. Even at their best, the team looked indecisive and lacked confidence, a far cry from the fast-paced, lane-dominant team that dominated the LCS for most of 2024. We are very sorry to the fans for the disgusting performance we showed in the tournament. Even though we can't promise it'll be better, we'll try our best, was something that Jan said after losing at first stand. So TL gave Top Esports their only 2-game wins at the tournament and lost to CTBC Flying Oyster, the top seed from the LCP. After a slew of baffling individual plays and consistently disconnected team play, criticism of the TL roster came back in force. Though they decided against making a change, it made sense for the team to explore options. Unless something drastically changes before the Split 2 playoffs, it doesn't seem likely TL is going to be making it to MSI, so now they need to start, preparing for like Summer Split and for trying to make it to Worlds and everything, that the future has in store. Before the LTA roster lock on March 25th, Team Liquid held last-minute trials for mid laners and junglers, so maybe they were even considering, switching up things in the mid lane as well, or maybe going with the 6-man roster in the mid lane too, which would have been pretty crazy. Assessing the options for both mid and jungle, with only 3 weeks between their early elimination first stand and the start of the LTA North Split 2, options were limited. TL mainly considered players from the NA development system. They tried out Yuji, Kizno for jungle, and Toasty for mid lane. After the tryout process, TL decided not to make any immediate changes, but continued scrimming with Yuji, splitting practice between him and as head coach Spawn explained on the Sackdown podcast. The system allowed the team to examine and isolate their issues. Eventually, TL decided to pick Yuji up as their 6-man jungler, similar to FlyQuest going with Gatghost as their 6-man as well, which is something I also talked about. Again, this is going to be the second 6-man roster in the LTA North. So we are seeing a lot of 6-man rosters. Again, does this have anything to do with the increased draft flexibility and kind of strategy, increased flexibility needed for Fearless Draft, or is this just, two kind of unique and isolated cases? I don't exactly know, but I know people are insanely hyped up for Yuji. People were, really, really shocked and upset that he did not have a spot in any of the major leagues or any of the Tier 1 leagues coming into 2025. So this opportunity has been waiting for him, but he does have very, very high expectations, and honestly getting a shot with a team like Team Liquid, which has, a pretty talented roster and is a place that he will be set up for success, is really going to show just how good this guy is, because if he fails on Team Liquid, then hey, he would have been eaten alive on a lower tier team, but it also, is going to show if he does have the chance to really rise up and be something special. But yeah, pretty crazy. I don't know. Obviously, I know people in general are pretty skeptical of 6-man rosters and how good they even are, are, if they're even useful or whatever, but we're going to have to wait and see. But now we have another one in the LTA North. Pretty crazy roster changes coming from Team Liquid, and I'm glad I could bring you guys this news. Like I said, just a couple of minutes actually after it came out. But that's pretty much it for this video today, guys. Of course, as always, everything we do here at Sheep Esports is powered by Holy. These are great tasting energy drinks that also just so happen to be healthier than the competition. Definitely check them out with the first link in the description below. You can use those discount codes SE5 and SE10 to get a nice little discount on your Holy today, and we would appreciate it a ton if you did that as well, because obviously it helps support us. Hopefully catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.